I just became so hopeless about being healed. They ran some tests and they weren't able to figure out what exactly was going on. So finally, I was just like, you know what? It's worth a shot. My name is Medins, and this is how I got healed. From a very young age, I dealt with a lot of stomach pain, and it didn't always seem to pop up for the same reasons. Like, it didn't seem to matter what types of food that I ate. I would just get this really bad stomach pain, and it wasn't always after like the same types of food where you could be like, oh, it must be something in that food or whatever, that kind of food. It always seemed to choose its moments. At one point when I was, I think, like 9, my parents thought that it might be lactose intolerance, and they brought me to the doctor, and the doctor recommended having me stay away from dairy products for about 2 weeks. So I stayed off of dairy products for 2 weeks, and that didn't seem to fix the issue. And I don't remember exactly when, but sometime within the next like 5 or 6 years, I wound up going back into the doctor to try to see if we could diagnose what was going on with my stomach, because it just seemed to be getting worse with time. They ran some tests and they weren't able to figure out what exactly was going on with my stomach. They suggested eventually sitting down with I think it's called a gastroenterologist, to see if they could diagnose my stomach problems. At this point in time, my siblings and I, who were in a band, we were doing more ministry-related things, and during that period, the stomach issues really picked up a lot, to the point where I either wouldn't eat, or I'd be very, very careful about what I ate 1 to 2 days leading up to an event. And so usually if we were playing somewhere, I was so hungry. I wouldn't say starving, but I was so hungry for the entire thing. I spent a lot of shows looking forward to being able to eat afterwards, and I did that just because I didn't want a stomach problem to pop up during a concert and I'd have to run off stage to go take care of it. Eventually, I just became so hopeless about being healed. I just figured this was going to be my life. Stomach issues were just going to be a part of it, and I was going to have to spend ministry time so hungry. And I did spend a lot of time sitting there going, am I ever going to be able to like manage going on a tour or doing anything long-term with the band on account of how bad my stomach problems were getting? And am I just gonna have to like fast for whatever period of time I'm doing ministry things? I didn't know. I just knew that I was feeling like this issue was just never going to go away. I had also spent a lot of time just praying that God would take this pain away in my stomach. And he wasn't answering those prayers. Like, he was answering prayers for other things, and I saw him answer prayers for other people in my life, but this particular thing, he just didn't seem to want to touch, and I couldn't figure out why. To spare you the gross details, my digestive tract just got so beat up over the years that I spent quite a bit of time like bleeding. There'd be a stomach issue, and then there would be lots of bleeding. I became anemic. I spent a lot of time with my head swimming and the edges of my vision kind of being blurry after a stomach problem. There did come a point where the bleeding just would not stop. And so I wound up becoming so weak that I decided to go into the hospital in desperate hope that they could do something. They fixed the bleeding issue, but that didn't fix the stomach problems. I wound up going to a gastroenterologist, again, kind of as a desperate measure. The doctor I talked to there said, yeah, the stuff that you're dealing with doesn't make any sense. Based on what we're seeing, you shouldn't be dealing with anything, so surgery is the next thing. So at this point, I was like, I don't think they're going to find anything, so I don't want to do that. In the years following, I wound up connecting with an old friend of the family who is very active in deliverance ministry. His name is Fred Herzog. He's a church starter in our area. And the Holy Spirit has used him or acted through him quite a bit to bring deliverance for different people, whether it be demonic stuff or healing. So finally, I was just like, you know what? It's worth a shot. We'll go the prayer route one more time. And I said, hey, Fred, would you mind praying with me for the stomach issue? And he and my friend Max Meyerhofer, who is currently my pastor, were both there. And so they sat down and they prayed with me, just said, Holy Spirit, show us what's going on. And they discovered that it was a witchcraft attack. It was something that had been acting in response to a ministry that my parents had done. It was aimed at limiting the next generation of my family from being able to be more active in ministry. And so with that, they said, all right, Holy Spirit, what is the next step here? And they felt like there was going to be a 3-day battle in which Michael the angel would be involved. And after 3 days, I would be healed. And so they said, all right, send Michael. Sure enough, after 3 days, the stomach issues just went away. And I got my healing. One more important thing that I want to mention is that during the period of my suffering, when my prayers weren't answered, I did begin to doubt the sincerity of my faith. I did spend a lot of time sitting there going, do I truly have faith in God's ability to heal me? I thought I did. I've seen him provide miraculously in different areas, so why wouldn't I have faith? But I wasn't getting my prayers answered. I wasn't getting my healing. And so I was sitting there just doubting the strength of my own belief. It wasn't a faith issue. It was a knowledge issue. Again, people perish from lack of knowledge. So if you're dealing with a long-standing issue, don't doubt the sincerity of your faith, or God for that matter. Instead, ask the Holy Spirit for guidance, because there is likely more to the situation than you realize. When I asked for prayer and got the guidance that I needed, I got my healing, and you can too.